Hi, my name is Bonnie Mays. I'm a research consultant from Stanford Marketing Researches of America. I was hired by Mr. Hudson of Big Lots. He is the CEO, and I was to research on China, the business foreign affairs between China and the United States. The research was designed to analyze and research the direct and indirect ways to do business with China. Especially, the research study seeks answers to these questions. These areas are social customs, concepts of time, family life, political patterns, value systems, house, clothing, food, workforce diversity, and economic business institutions. The Stanford Marketing Researchers of America commissioned this research on China. Before authorizing the research, we wanted to make sure that we covered most of the details that Mr. Hudson was looking for. For those who are unfamiliar with China, it is in the eastern Asia bordering the East China Sea, Korea Bay, Yellow Sea, between North Korea and Vietnam, and the capital is Beijing. China imports and exports goods to and from the United States and deals with our countries also. The United States joined trade with China in 2001. The original goal for the United States was getting companies in the United States to sell and distribute products made by American workers on American soil without being forced to relocate manufacturing to China. They would be able to export products without exporting jobs. So far, this has worked for both China and the United States. Most Republicans and Democrats knew this would be a boon for America. The Chinese and Americans are very different and have different customs. Through this research, we will be able to see these differences and what the best ways to take care of business. In dealing with Chinese, it is important to learn Chinese well and understand the Chinese culture. Knowing how to handle some situations may not be easy because this American approach, which is inappropriate in a direct society may be inappropriate in an indirect society. The first thing we're going to talk about is social customs. Do not assume that the Chinese customs are like Japanese customs. The two countries are very different, and Chinese are very insulted when you assume their cultures are like the Japanese culture. Chinese often stare at foreigners. In China, it is considered rude to call someone by their name. You call them by their family name unless you have no occupational change. Vocational training in China includes pre-employment training, training for people transferred to new occupation, apprentice training, and on-the-job training, covering elementary and intermediary and advanced vocational qualification training for technicians and other types of training to help people adapt to different job requirements. The Chinese believe that a degree does not make who you are. But we as Americans strive for that knowledge and experience and education because we do believe that it will make you a better person achieving your goals and letting you become who you really are. The conclusion and recommendations is, as the analyst of this research on social customs, concepts of time, family life, political patterns, value systems, housing, clothing, and food, work diversity, and economic and business institution leads to the following conclusions and recommendations about keeping up with the times of the China and how they impact that they have on the United States. The original goal for the United States was getting companies in the United States to sell and distribute products made by American workers on American soil without being forced to relocate manufacturing to China. Our society is more of an indirect society instead of a direct society. We don't have much in common with the China. Concepts of time is a 10-hour difference, but the work schedule is about the same. They view family life the same as we do. They live just like normal people, dress the same, eat the same foods as we do. The United States have a majority of minorities that work, not just one minority. Workers in South China's Honda's engine factory want a 20% wage increase after a 2-week strike. Those in Pingman Textile Factory in Central China also got a 25% wage hike after a 2-week strike. The Chinese believe that a degree does not make who you are. The Americans see education differently. On these basis of these findings, we recommend that Big Lots rethink and evaluate more before starting a business there. The research study shows that China is more gained on power and making money and not the people. America's future is in our hands, and we will be in our children's hands someday. And we need to make a choice for them and to keep these big companies here because jobs are hard to come by, especially the way the economics are at this time. We need to think about our dreams and future also.